Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys a story of my son when he was a little younger. He's now 4 years old. This was when he was 2 years old. And he kept getting sick. He was sick all the time. Mind you, it's normal to get sick, as in the flu, the cold, because there's always viruses going around all year long. But do you have a child that gets sick? Literally, it seems like they're sick for 2 months and that congestion is not going away. Hopefully, this tip can help you out. So, this was, like I said, when my son was 2 years old. We put him in a private school, a Montessori school, and that's when it started. He was sick all the time. I have a full breastfed baby, so they say their immune system's a little better, right? So, from newborn to one, didn't get sick. From one to two, he got a cold here and there, maybe once or twice. But once he hit two and we put him in that school, it seemed like a month, every other month he was sick. And by sick, I mean symptoms of a cough, congestion, so very, very runny nose. Or it was like a dry cough and mucus that just would not come out. You try to blow it, nothing comes out. You try to cough, nothing comes out, but you can hear it. It's like stuck up in there. That was him. So what would happen is he'd miss, I kid you not, he'd go to school like one day out of the month because I felt bad, that every time he'd try to run, he was coughing and coughing. And I felt bad. I'm like, oh my God, what if he's contagious? Or what if they say something? Although the teachers would say as long as he had no fever and he was not vomiting, he was okay to go to school. Regardless, I did not take him to school. And like I said, it was a private school, so we were paying good money for him to go. And he would go like one day out of that month. And I would take him to the doctor. I'm like, oh my gosh, what now? And they'd do the same thing every time. It was prescription for post nasal drip. They said that pretty much the mucus is going back and it's not coming out. So they give him medication to dry up the mucus. And I don't know the name at the moment. So if I remember it, I will write it down in the description to let you know what they were prescribing him. So his primary doctor prescribed him that, I want to say, like 3 times. He prescribed him at a different occasion that we took him an inhaler, because they started saying maybe it's not just a postnasal drip, maybe he has asthma. So then they put him down as asthmatic, that he has asthma, so he has this inhaler. Make sure he uses his inhaler and make sure the medication was only for 7 to 10 days. So sometimes it'd be 7 days, sometimes it'd be 10 days, but it was never any longer than that because you do not want to take medication that dries up your secretions for a long period of time, or you shouldn't take it anyways, I believe. Because what happens if it's getting dried up in there? It's going to just block up your airways, right? So I felt like I had nothing else to do. It would work. His mucus would go away. It would come back. It would always come back. So that was his primary. It was the inhaler. It was the medication to dry up his mucus. Then he prescribed him a nebulizer. He prescribed a nebulizer, and we had to do breathing treatments every night with albuterol, which is the same medication which was in his inhaler. But these were like 15-minute breathing with the little mask medications. And after that, it was still not going away. Like I said, it was like a month he was okay, a month he was not. And then we'd be back at the doctor like, hey, it's back. What now? One day, the doctor was closed, so we went to the urgent care because it was so bad. He couldn't sleep. Oh, another thing. So because of that, my son wasn't sleeping well. To begin with, he was never a good sleeper. And this just made it that much worse. So he wasn't sleeping well. And I was like, great, what now? So we did that, and we tried all the natural kind of medications that I saw online. I would read blog posts or like pineapple juice helps your secretions, and it really does. But how much can you really drink pineapple juice? Is it really getting rid of the issue? So we did that. We tried natural essential oils, um, like cedar tree. I can't remember the names, but I read all these kind of blogs of functional medicine. There's different oils that work for different things. Try those out, and like I said, they worked for a while, but they never really got rid of the issue, at least for us. At one point, so we went to the urgent care. They prescribed us that medication again, which was to dry up the phlegm. And then from then, they sent us over to a specialist, which I'm in California. I am by Sacramento area, and they sent us over to Valley Children's Hospital in Fresno. And this is where my mind was like, phew. So they sent us over to Valley Children's Hospital. They gave him a chest x-ray to make sure that his lungs and everything is working properly, which they were. They were like, we see no issues. And after that, the doctor comes in, literally asks us like two questions. And from then on, she prescribes him three medications. Kid you not, three medications. And two of those three were steroids. Steroids for a 2 year old. Crazy, right? So one was a Bureau that he was already taking, and two others, I do not remember the names at the moment, but they were all for the nebulizer. So she said, this is a female doctor, that he has to take these medications morning and night every single day for the rest of who knows when. She says he might outgrow this. This is like asthma with inflamed bronchioles. Might outgrow this, might not. Might be 5, 6, 7 years old. Who knows? But this is like long term medication. There was not an end date to this. So I was like, okay, do we stop this in a month? No. Like he wasn't even getting prescribed this around the clock every month, you know? So we went home a little naive, I would say, because we still gave him the medications, a little desperate to, for him to sleep right so he can breathe right. We gave him the medications, and at 2 years old, my son was very vocal at this point. And we gave him the medications one night, and he let us know. He told us he wasn't acting the same, actually, the first round of medications that we gave him. He was very sad, very low energy, and that's definitely not my son. Anybody who knows my son knows that's not him. And he vocalized that he wasn't feeling right. He said he felt funny, that he felt sad. We're like, okay. So I looked up the side effects. Oh my gosh. The side effects of his medications are like depression, suicidal thoughts, all these crazy things that I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We can't give this to him like this, especially a long term thing. If it was like a 2, 3 day thing, kind of antibiotics, you kind of need to, sure, this is not going to get rid of the issue. And we're like, we need to get to the root cause of what's going on. Like, why is he getting this inflammation? So that was that. And that's when my husband and I dove deep into researching functional medicine and what else we can do. And we read this blog, which, like I said, mind blown. Like, how did I not know this? That my son at this time, 2 years old, he started drinking his milk, nap time, and bedtime. Regular milk, and we were giving him high quality milk, grass fed, whole milk. So, for anyone that knows about milk, it's not a secret, which I already knew this. It's very high, very inflammatory because of the casein A1 protein it has. So, it's a protein that's inflammatory for us. We can't digest well. Most people are not meant to digest it and need the extra help to digest it. So it's very inflammatory, which means it can cause the secretions, especially for kids, that their body's not quite fully developed like us. Crazy. I'm like, milk? Yeah, it definitely could cause secretions, right? So we had already let go of milk and dairy, but we didn't let it go for long enough. We let it go for like a week, and we're like, no, it didn't go away. It's definitely not the milk. For those who don't know, when you eat something that's inflammatory to the body and it's inflammatory to you, like if you're celiac, right? If you can't do gluten and you have bread, today the inflammation could affect you up until a month later. Like it's not out of your system completely. Everyone's different, everybody's body is different, but for my son's case, that was the case with the milk. So this milk was causing that high inflammation in his body that was causing all those secretions, that was causing this like sick cough, right? And to me, I was like, whoa, okay, let's try it out. So we took off the milk and we started reading more like, okay, well, he still wants milk. What should we do? And we switched over to goat milk because goat milk does not have that protein, that A1 protein. So goat milk is so much easier to digest, especially for kids. And it's very high in other kind of vitamins, and I'm not going to get into that. But very easy to digest compared to regular milk. So we switched over to goat milk. And guess what? The symptoms went away almost immediately. Almost immediately. Like within a week, boom, didn't have that. And I kid you not. Ever since then, he's hardly got sick. Like he still gets sick, but nowhere near the amount of sickness he used to have. And also the people that I know within our inner circle, the kids around his age that get sick, he doesn't get sick as often. And we've been giving him goat milk ever since he was 2. He's 4.5 now. So goat milk is the way to go if you're gonna still do milk. If you don't need milk, perfect. You know, you can get calcium many other ways. But my son loves his milk, so we're like, hey, let's do goat milk. And if you're gonna do any kind of milk, make sure you get good quality. You know, so we try to do grass fed as much as we can. And I know it's a little pricier, but you can cut costs in other ways, and that's kind of how we see it. The best way is to get rid of a problem is through diet. You know, you see food as medicine. And what's crazy to me is that none of these doctors, not one doctor, though, not the urgent care, not his primary, not the specialist, asked us like, "Hey, what is he eating? Is he still drinking milk?" Like everyone knows it's inflammatory. At least doctor-wise, right? They take these nutrition courses, and it's like it's not a secret. It's the allergy in a baby. Like, what are the first things they should not have? Right? Cow's milk. You should not have it up until 1 year because it's highly inflammatory. Hello, milk, And I'm sure there's other things, but at least for us, the milk has been like day to night change. It's so crazy. So that's my tip for you guys. If your child is still drinking milk, regular cow's milk, and they keep getting these phlegm, they keep getting sick, right? Like the cough, the wet cough, and whatnot. It might be what they're eating. It might be what they're drinking. Too much sugar, too much milk. Let it go. You got it. It's hard, but it's harder for them to live in that way. It's harder for them. My son cries whenever he's congested, and it's hard. You don't want to see them sick all the time. The doctor trips, medications. Like avoid medications as much as you can. So yeah, that's my tip to you guys. I am going to post in the description what milk we use. Honestly, it's what I find around here, but the easiest to find is one that we have locally. It's called, I might be saying it wrong, Mayer's. It's this purple one. But when I can, I try to get grass fed goat milk. And sometimes I find that at Sprouts. Sometimes I don't. They'll have a raw goat milk. And now for my baby, I give her, she's 1 now, I give her powdered goat milk. And I get that from this website called Mount Capra. And that one is grass fed as well. And she has not had any issues so far. And healthy as can be at the moment. So yeah, hopefully I can help somebody out. Just like I said, one person out there, if you're listening and your baby or your kids keep getting sick and they're still drinking that whole milk or regular cow's milk, let it go. Try it out. Hopefully you do feel some changes and hopefully it works out. Thank you for listening.